Hello, and welcome to Beering in Mind Beer Reviews. And today we're going to begin a series of lambic beers from the Brouwerij, which is called Lindemans in Belgium. We're going to look at 5 different fruited lambics, and then finally we will look at their fado, which is a sugared lambic. And I'm going to look at them in order of alcohol strength, just for no reason except that we're moving up the scale. These are all very, very low alcohol. The first one will start out at 2.5% alcohol, in fact. Lindemans is located a few kilometers outside of Brussels, and they are well known for their lambics and their artisanal gins, which they make as well. They've been going since 1822, and they're now in their 6th generation of family brewers, and so quite a history. They're most famous for these fruited lambics, but they also make a few other styles that are considered much more highly, I think. In any case, lambic is a beer which undergoes what's called spontaneous fermentation. In other words, it's not inoculated with yeast, as most beer is, to produce alcohol and flavors and aromas. What happens is the beer is brewed, often combinations of barley and wheat, and after the wort is boiled and cooled, they take it up to a higher area, up higher in the house or the brewing area, and spread it out into some shallow cooling trays. The Dutch word is koelschip, and in English it somehow just become a folk translation, cool ship. These are large, very wide cooling trays, and the wort is set up there to cool overnight, and the windows, dormers are opened, and the wild yeast floats in and inoculates the wort. And the area around Brussels has a concentration of very strong wild yeast. The most commonly known one is called Brett, or Brettanomyces, and it's a wild yeast, and so it comes in on the wind with maybe some other microflora. And then after one night, it's put into fermenters, into very large wooden barrels called foders. And it's fermented for about 6 months there. Some places use foders, and for example, Rodenbach is very famous for having a lot of foders. And others use stainless steel and throw in wood chips to provide the wood atmosphere, the wood effect on the beer. And after about 6 months or so, it is matured for an additional 6 months, and then some lambics are bottled, and others are blended to make what's called gueuze. And gueuze is a blend of young and old lambics. So they may take a 1-year-old lambic and blend it with a 3-year-old lambic, and try to create some interesting flavors. This is the real magic, I think, of making an interesting beer. Very similar to what winemakers do. The wood is also similar to what winemakers do as well. But blending, it's kind of a point where the science leaves off and the art takes over. Or maybe we could say craft takes over, deciding when and how much of each part of the age of the lambic should be put into another age, and that sort of thing. And so Lindemans produces a variety, again, of fruit lambics, and they also produce some other beers you may be more interested in. The fruit lambics are not terribly exceptional in quality. They're interesting, but not the best. If you can find their gueuze Cuvée Vernay, or one they make with Mikkeller, which is called Spontaan Basil, or their Oud Lambic. Any of those 3 will give you a very different experience, I think. Okay, So this is just a brief introduction to Lindemans, and now we're going to move on to the first of the fruited lambics. Okay, so today we're going to look at the second of the fruited lambics from Lindemans, and that is this one. It is Lindemans Framboise, and this is a fruited lambic at 2.5% alcohol. And Framboise, as you can guess from the picture, means raspberry. And on RateBeer, this has the most ratings of any of the Lindemans fruited lambics. It has 2,770 ratings, an average score of 3.61, much higher than the peach one we looked at before, and an 89 percentile rating for all beers on RateBeer, 42% for its style, which is fruited lambic. All right, so let's give this one a go, shall we? Okay, so it is a very kind of wine dark or grape juice dark reddish color, purple color, with a very, very dark sort of pink, almost purple sort of head. So it is opaque. You can see a little bit through the edges. Okay, and the aroma. Whoa. Very jammy, a lot of raspberry, some hints of the lactic kind of acid that will be in the flavor. Sourish dark fruit. Like a lot of lambics, this one has a very sharp kind of retronasal blast of almost seems like fruit gas going up into your sinuses. It's very unusual. Lambic is the only style that really does that. It's quite exceptional experience. And that happens in the mid palate with the as it rises through and begins to go down, you get this retronasal kind of thing. It's kind of sweet, fruity finish, thin, medium body. This is refreshing, maybe a little bit too sweet and final. Overall, it doesn't have as much lambic character as some of the other ones do. It's very refreshing, very light. You could drink, a lot of this on a hot day, and you wouldn't get buzzed or toasted at all. Yeah. So, very sharp fruit flavors, but again, the lambic character is not terribly high. And so, once again, this is Lindemans Framboise. It's a fruited lambic at 2.5% only. Give it a try if you like fruit beers, or if you like lambics. This may not be an impressive beer to you, but again, it's a nice, refreshing little bit to drink. That's it for today. Please subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment, and I will reply to you. Next time, we'll look at some more Lindemans fruited lambics. Take care.